But first, the country's top intelligence and national security officials gave stark warnings today on Russia's ongoing efforts to meddle in this November's elections. In a rare joint appearance from the White House briefing room, the Trump administration agency heads acknowledged the threat while touting their stepped-up election security initiatives.
The intelligence community continues to be concerned about the threats of upcoming U.S. elections.
Make no mistake, the scope of this foreign influence threat is both broad and deep.
We're not going to accept meddling in the elections, and it's very unambiguous.
I am pleased to inform you that to date, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and over 900 local governments have partnered with DHS in order to bolster the resilience of the nation's election infrastructure.
So, what does the administration's announcement mean for the states? California's Secretary of State, Alex Padilla, is a Democrat, and he oversees elections there. Mr. Padilla, thank you very much for joining us. Before I ask you about what the Trump administration officials had to say today, tell us from your perspective, are you seeing interference already at this point in California's elections and discussions about the politics of your state?
Look, if you look back from 2016 to today and going forward, are there folks trying to find the vulnerabilities in our systems to meddle with our elections? Absolutely. We see that sort of scanning activity on a daily basis. That's nothing new, but that's very different than whether systems are actually compromised or hacked or breached specifically. And so it's just a reminder. The indictment from a couple of weeks ago was another reminder. And today's press conference is a reminder that the threats keep coming. The lights are blinking, as our intelligence leaders have said. And so our defenses and security measures need to continue to increase in sophistication as well. And we need more resources to stay ahead of the threats.
So what did you make of what administration and agency officials had to say today? Were you reassured by what their message?
Look, I appreciate what they had to say, but I can't help but call out the obvious here. Number one, this is agency leaders. It's still not the commander-in-chief unequivocally saying the Russians meddled with the 2016 elections, and that is critically important. You got to hold the Russians accountable if you're going to be taken seriously about being a partner in protecting the 2018 elections, the 2020 elections, and beyond. Number two, none of what they announced today, of what they're doing in partnership with states and local governments, is anything new. They have been doing this, rightfully so, since the end of the Obama administration. So it does need to continue. But I think state secretaries of state have been clear in the following. Number one, we need the Trump administration to hold the Russians accountable. Number two, we need ongoing investments in the upgrade and modernization of our election infrastructure. A once-in-15-year investment in election security doesn't cut it. And number three, the White House has yet to name an election security coordinator, a qualified, well-respected election security coordinator. That alone speaks volumes.
So when they say they are taking this seriously, that this is an all-out effort, we heard the Homeland Security Secretary, they're working closely with all 50 states, the District of Columbia, hundreds of local governments. You're saying that's not sufficient?
It isn't sufficient. We are working. We are beginning to share information. But the part of what states have shared with the federal government is the need for additional resources. The $300 million and change from last month was helpful, but frankly, what Congress appropriated last month was leftover butterfly ballot hanging Chad money from the wake of the Florida 2000 debacle. That is not new money that's been approved by Congress, what the president has called for in the wake of the 2016 election. So we need additional investment for the threats of today, not the threats of 15 years ago.
How much more money are you calling for?
You know, here's the, I think, how a good comparison. It's not just Trump, it's congressional Republicans. Last week, it was the House of Representatives. This week, just yesterday, it was United States Senate defeating a proposal to invest $250 million in additional money for election cybersecurity grants to states, at the same time approving a $700 billion defense authorization. Protecting our elections is a matter of national security. For less than 0.1% of what was given for defense spending, you could do so much to help further secure and protect the bedrock of our democracy.
And it is an interesting point you make, because today the Homeland Security Secretary Nielsen said the cyber threat now exceeds what she said the danger of a physical attack on the United States. Just finally, we heard the FBI Director Christopher Wray say that compared to 2016, this year we're not seeing the same kind of efforts to specifically target election infrastructure, but other efforts to influence public opinion continue. What do you see in that regard?
Look, I think we cannot rest on our laurels, and we take nothing for granted. There's different types of attacks that have been coming our way and will continue. Is it a threat on our elections infrastructure? Absolutely, and they'll keep coming. Is it a threat to simply create chaos, confusion, and undermine confidence in elections? Voter confidence is so critical in the strength of our democracy. We saw that and more in 2016. We're seeing that and more in 2018 and beyond. So again, our safeguard, our security measures have worked to protect elections thus far, but we have to stay at least one step ahead of the bad guys.
California Secretary of State Alex Padilla, we thank you.
Thank you.